God says, if the objective is to find me, you will seek me and you will find me when you search for me with all your heart. Not most of it, not some of it. Because every search that is not wholehearted does not strike its objective. If you are going to seek the Lord and you are going to do it with all your heart, the only way and the only reason why that is stated is because there's a possibility for you to seek the Lord with some of your heart. And I said that there's the difficulty that everybody experiences when they want to seek the Lord with all their heart. Satan is happy for you to seek the Lord half-heartedly. And the reason he's happy is because while he gives you a sense of activity, in reality, your score is 0. So Satan is happy to let us have that sense of spiritual activity. And actually, sometimes it even develops and balloons into a sense of entitlement. Say, but I've been seeking the Lord. The problem is, how have you been seeking the Lord? It's the reason why sometimes it looks as if the principles of God, they don't work. For some persons, it even looks as if God does not answer prayer. For some other persons, it looks as if the things that God has said in his word, they are not altogether to be taken seriously, because even if you engage them, they don't seem to deliver on the things that the Bible says they will deliver on. And it is partly because many times those people are engaging in the activity seemingly, but they have not met the stated condition, and they have not met the condition for the kind of response that is promised in the engagement of that activity. You will need to develop the discipline of summoning yourself, all your heart, making sure that you get everything together. If you take away all of the dead spaces in their prayer enterprise, in a 2-hour prayer stretch, you might be able to manage out like 15 minutes. That is solid in the spirit. It's not altogether such a terrible thing, because it is the process by which people eventually are able to do 90%, 95%. You have to go through that same process. Everybody goes through it. Because what some people do when they hear this kind of thing is to say, so what is the point? If I cannot get all my heart to come on this enterprise of seeking the Lord, why do I seek him at all? Because if I'm seeking him half-heartedly, I cannot get anything meaningful from the enterprise. So maybe I should just simply go and use my time and be watching Netflix. No. The point is, you must know that this activity that is seeking the Lord, if you want to do God and do God right, is an obligation. It's not something that you can choose to or you can choose to not. The Bible says men ought always to pray and not to faint. But number 2 is this: there is no other way that you are going to overcome that problem than facing it headlong. It is in overcoming the problem gradually and in installment that you gain mastery in the landscape. You are not going to gain mastery by being discouraged and leaving. If you leave for 3 months and then you come back after 3 months, whatever little muscles you developed before, you would have lost part of it. You will now be starting at a worse place than the place you were 3 months ago, so that if you had been consistently building on it over these 3 months, you probably would have gone from your 17%. By now, you would have been like 23%. The solution is actually to keep at it. And then to know a few things that will help you as you try to keep at it. And we said, number 1, that you need to learn how to set the Lord before you. And the counterpart of setting the Lord before you is what? Is a heart that is fixed. So the Lord is set before you and your own heart is fixed. Even though it sounds like something that a human being should not say. How can a man say, me, a man, I have set the Lord before me? God exists altogether, apart from my coming, apart from my praying, and apart from my doing business with him. But this God that exists altogether apart from my own existence is a God that I need in my personal experience. And so in my personal experience, I need to set for myself the objective that is, I want to meet with the Lord. I want to get to where the Lord is in the spirit and in my experience. It is that conceptual framing of this objective that is setting the Lord before you. And the God you want to meet, the God you want to engage, in the outlay of the geography of the spirit, God is domiciled for our comprehension in the Holy of Holies. And there is an elaborate outlay for how to get to God. But the instruction that is given is that when you are entering the gates of God, you enter his gate with what? With what? With thanksgiving. And you enter into the courtyard with what? With praise. This man says, my heart is fixed. My heart is fixed. Me, I will do what? I will sing. And I will do what? And I'll give praise. So you need to leave home with that mindset.